John, is Khabib really retired?
No.
Thank you.
Just being honest, dude.
I don't think he is either.
There's a beautiful picture of Khabib and Lorenzo Fertitta that was recently put out. True? Did you see it?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, all right, here I'm gonna get ripped again, but I'm just gonna speak the truth because see, I worked for those people, and I worked for Lorenzo Fertitta, and I worked for Dana White, and I know the truth about who made the UFC so successful. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Dana. Dana did his job, but when you were looking at Lorenzo Fertitta, you were looking at the brains of who was doing things inside the UFC, who was making the decisions. Dana listened to Lorenzo, and when Lorenzo said, Dana, I want you to go do this, Dana went and did it, and he was good at doing it, and that was his job. But Lorenzo Fertitta was the guy who's always been the brains behind everything, and he was the guy when Dana could not get something done. It was always Lorenzo that would step in, talk to the fighter, have him for dinner, and all of a sudden, that fighter was now fighting again because he just has a different personality. He is a businessman. He's got no ego when it comes to this stuff. He just sits there and talks to you like a man, and he'll say things that scare the hell out of you. I'm just going to say that's just the truth, but he's just relaying the truth as it is to him and what he's looking at and what he can do and what he expects of you to do. And when you see that picture of, Nurmagomedov and Fertitta, it's telling you, yeah, he may be giving up the lightweight title and he's not going to fight for a little bit, but they've already got it planned. He's going to be fighting again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's going to be, the GSP fight. The only fight. That's the only fight that his dad wanted him to do. He wanted him to finish 30-0, and it makes sense. And everyone's like, "Oh, but why? Why would I want to see a 40-year-old GSP?" And they're like, "Oh, he didn't look that great in his last performance." GSP went up, and to put on that amount of weight and fight a current champion in Michael Bisping, that says a lot. And then he'd been out for what, 4 years? Yeah. Three or 4 years. Yeah. He'd been out for a long time, and to come back and win a title at a weight class above, and now this one obviously won't be for the title because Khabib doesn't have a title, but I'm imagining it's going to be at a catch weight.
But it couldn't be at a title. It couldn't be at a title anyways, and that's the whole reason why you're seeing what you're seeing, and you're seeing that okay, Khabib is retired. Yeah. Okay. Dana White has come out and said, yeah, he's retired. We're having the lightweight, matchup between Oliveira and Chandler. It's all because he couldn't fight GSP at 155 because GSP can't make 155.
And I wouldn't want to see GSP make 155.
No, he knows.
I wouldn't want to see him fight. Yeah.
So it'll be at a catch weight, maybe 165, somewhere in there. They may have it where GSP comes out of his weight class, normal weight class of welterweight, and comes down, and Khabib comes up. But I do believe that's going to be the fight. I think that's going to happen. It's been talked about. You and I talked about it with people that we have spoken with. Things were in the works. I look at it and I go, I really don't. I want to see it, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
I definitely will be watching, but I do think I know what's going to happen in that fight, and I don't want to see that.
Well, let me ask you this.
I don't want to see either one lose. How's that?
Yeah, I can be okay with that. I like both of them. I want to know though, what do you think? Does it do over 2.5 million views? Pay-per-view buys?
Yes.
It does. That's what I thought. I was thinking between 2.6 and 3.
You'll get half of those. You get half of those in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. And I was trying to think also too, like it depends who else is on that card. But I think so. I think that's what you get. You get that.
Yeah. Well, they would stack that card anyways, just based upon
you would think
fight. They'd put at least 2 other big fights in there, so it's going to be that's one of those that's an event. Mm-hmm. That's one that you say that's one you want to be at. So
yeah,
it's
it's
neat.
I think you figure you put that fight with like a Max Holloway fight on there, you know, and I don't know, give me somebody else. Give me another third fight that you could stack on there and make it a good one.
I think in that one you could take you would put something like, it depends on the length of time, but you could put like Dominic Cruz versus Jose Aldo. That's a good fight for that kind of thing, or a Dominic Cruz versus a Frankie Edgar kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
You know, it's kind of a legends thing. You're looking because you're stacking up legends. You got legends in GSP and Khabib. You got legends in Dominic, Frankie. I think you just try to bring a legends, roster down. Fights that may not be for the title, but everyone's always wanted to see.
Yes. Good call. Yeah, I think it breaks 2.5. So I'm being more towards like the 2.6, 2.7, but I think somewhere in there. So who knows? I guess we'll see. We'll see when the fight happens, if it does happen. I believe that it will. It happens here shortly.
You wouldn't have right now. You wouldn't have had Khabib sitting there next to Dana if he was gone. Okay, let's just be honest. Come on, get a clue.
Man. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for him, and to see if he can get to 30-0. And I'm excited for GSP also, man. Like, he loves challenges, and I think he sees Khabib is obviously a real big challenge in terms of the wrestling, the stand-up, everything. So, I mean, and I'm excited to see where it's going to be at 165, 170. What like, it's not easy for a guy, like GSP to who had fought at 185, but probably weighed in at 185 and probably walked around at 185, you know what I mean? Or 186, 87. And then now having to cut down to even to cut back down to 170. That's probably going to be like, it's not going to be the easiest thing for a 40-year-old to do. And then have to be able to have the conditioning to go all 5 rounds if it has to go 5 rounds. I mean, we saw how much he slowed down in the Bisping fight.
Yep.
And I was wondering if that was because of the weight he put on, or is it just because you're 40, you're 38, 39, whatever. I've been there. I understand. Like, it just didn't seem like you had the same type of conditioning, in rounds 3 and 4 and 5. So I don't know. But I am excited to see the fight. But like you said, I'm not excited to see the fight.
I know
you like both of them.
I want to see it, but I don't want to see anyone lose.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Khabib lose, and I definitely don't want to see George lose. So, it's one of those. It's a rough one, but it's only a fight. Yeah. It's no big deal.
The biggest pay-per-view numbers, though, are 2.4. That's the biggest one, right? That's Conor and Khabib.
Yes.
They did 2.4. I think it does 2.6, 2.5, 2.6. I think it beats that.
I think it beats it too.
100% agree. Okay.